Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video we're going to talk about something that's been making headlines in a lot of places, and that is invasive species in our waterways. Right here, this is the Great Lakes Fishery Commission, and they put out about the invasion of carp by a nationality that starts in A, that apparently on land is all grand, it's our strength, but underwater, it's a huge problem with 4 species of them. There's the big head, the silver, the black, and the grass carp, all of which are A carps, and they are such a problem that right here, this is Great Lakes Now. This is July 12th, 2023. Today is August 8th, 2024. So this is a year old, but they spent nearly $1.2 billion at one site to deter the invasive carp from Great Lakes, with other entry sites still possible because there's a lot of entryways into the Great Lakes. So we have spent $1.2 billion at just one entry point to deter this invasion. And right here, this talks about the Colorado River, and that there was just an invasive species discovered. This is July 20th, 2024, so a couple of weeks ago here. And what is it doing? It's causing costly damage, and it's capable of wiping out ecosystems. So, there's a reason that when you go down the highway that there's watercraft inspection stations, and you must stop. There are signs that say you must stop all watercraft inspection stations that you encounter. They say that they are the first line of defense to stop the spread of aquatic invasive species. And there's a lawyer here. This is a Montana guy. Know your rights when it comes to these inspection stations. And it says right here that boat owners have a duty to clean and drain their boats when they're done recreating and inspect for any aquatic life. They say you must clean and dry the bilge, live wells, ballast tanks, all other storage tanks. But the thing is it's more than that. Right down here, it says that if you have a boat or any equipment that has been in the water, and they define the equipment like an inner tube, life jackets, a canoe, an anchor, etc., like a paddleboard and its oar. And one of these other articles talks about boots, that if you wore boots in the water, but basically anything that came in contact with the water source that you were in, it must be cleaned before you use it in another water source. So people don't think of these here, inner tubes, life jackets, oars, paddle boats. They just generally, when they go through these stations or see that they're there, the watercraft inspections, they just think of the boats, but it's really anything can carry these invasive species from one waterway to another. And they are doing a lot of damage here. The Great Lakes, this has been going on for a few years here. They say that 90% of the $1.2 billion was federal money and 10% was state funds from Illinois and Michigan. Well, okay, but, federal money is still local money. It's just local from people that aren't anywhere near the Great Lake. But what they're trying to do is prevent catastrophic damage to the $7 billion Great Lakes fishery and untold disruption to the $15 billion boating industry, according to the authorities. So this has huge ramifications. And they say that the primary threat from the Asian carps is competition with other fish for food resources and the likely ability of these invaders to outcompete native desirable fisheries. The Great Lakes Fishery Commission believes that preventing the introduction and establishment of Asian carp is the only effective approach to sustaining the valuable Great Lakes fishery. This is very scary stuff here that goes on. This is very real. It's not anything to just, well, it doesn't matter. A fish is a fish. They say all 4 of the Asian carps grow to large sizes approaching or exceeding 100 pounds and 4 feet in length. They actually were imported to North America to assist with pest control and aquacultural facilities and have since escaped into the wild. So it's not just people spreading things from one waterway to another with their boats and their paddle boards and whatnot, but there's unintended consequences because this was going to be controlled. We were just going to solve one problem. This other article says that they were imported into the United States in the 1970s as a method to control nuisance algal blooms in wastewater treatment plants and agricultural ponds where catfish were raised. The invasive fish grow quickly and are capable of outcompeting other fish for food, according to the Great Lakes Fishery Commission. Now, one female of these Great Lakes, right here, female carp are capable of producing up to 1 million eggs per year. And the same thing with the problem that's going on in the Colorado River. It's with a mussel, the zebra mussel larvae, and they just found it in a river east of Grand Junction, which is out towards the Utah border, out kind of near Moab. They say that the discovery of the mussels so far upstream on the 1,450-mile river means the species could easily spread downstream and take over large swaths of the Colorado River. And they too, somewhere in this article, can produce 1 million offspring. Right here, a single female mussel can release up to 1 million veligers a year. So the mussels multiply rapidly. Once they're connected to a service, they can clog pipes, drains, pumps, and other water infrastructure, leading to costly and difficult repairs. When they die, their shells can obstruct motors and other moving parts in dams and boats and machinery. So it's not just that they're taking over the waterways and they're a problem to fish, which they are if you read this article, but they can cause problems to infrastructure. And right here, Mark Smith, a policy director at the National Wildlife Federation, said, what happened in the Illinois River and certain stretches of the Des Plaines River? They've pushed out the native fish. This is the Asian carp they're talking about. They've pushed out the native fish species, and in some stretches of the river, they have 90% of the biomass in those rivers. So our waterways are being invaded just like our country is. And it's not just, oh, well, diversity's great. Okay, because, sorry, it's not. It's detrimental. It's detrimental in the waterways. And right now, these watercraft inspection stations are state departments. But it's very important that we try to keep our waterways because, trying to keep this video short and just an overview of things here, it is detrimental to invade waterways with species that don't belong there. So have respect for that when you're out and about and having fun on these waterways. I certainly want you to go out. I go out and enjoy bodies of water, and we all need to have a good time while we're living on this planet, but we can also all be respectful. So stay tuned, people.